Hey guys, just want to welcome you to chapter 2 of the Evil Landlord's Guide to Landlording. I think this is one of the most important things in property management. Whether you're doing short-term rentals or long-term rentals, building your team is super important, and you basically don't want to fuck around with this. You want to get this right as much as possible. And I think it's not super rocket science to get this right. I have more info if you want. I'll give you some links to going in some more depth. But basically, what you want to do is you want to have everybody tested. You don't really want to not know what you're getting. So you need a runner, somebody who just kind of runs around for you and does odd jobs. That could be you, but I suggest not doing anything yourself. And you want to have specialists, like in other words, a plumber, a pool guy, whatever you need. Just electrician. You want to have the actual person who knows, and you want to use the runner to open the door for the specialist, and that's your basic system. If you already know people in your city, you're good to go, but let's assume that you don't know anybody. How do you really go and figure them out? So what I like to do is I like to give test jobs to people, and what I do is I go on either Google or Facebook. If you can get into a group for that city, it's really useful. Some cities have better groups like that, like Jacksonville has Yellowbirds, which is awesome. Some cities don't really have that. I have less of that in Delray, but then Google's more effective in Delray. And then the other thing I use TaskRabbit to find a person. And then once I feel like I've kind of gotten along with them a little bit, I pull them off TaskRabbit and I just deal with them directly. I want to put them on my staff. Now the hard part becomes, how do you motivate the person that you can call them at a weird time and they will really like jump for you? So there's a couple things you can do. You can either put them on salary and kind of overpay them for even when they're not working, like $250 a month, whether they work 2 hours or 10 hours. That's one way to do it. That's how my property manager did it with me when I was doing the grunt work, but I don't know if that's really, I don't think that's necessarily sustainable right now. I think a better way to do it is to just call people occasionally when you need them, but then to overpay them a little bit. Like in other words, pay for their gas money, or say they do an amount of work that comes to $85, just round it up to 100. Just kind of keep them interested by keeping them paid quickly. Really important. Do not make them wait. Don't let them come out of pocket. If they're to run to the store and buy batteries, you pay for the batteries. Give them a credit card, or if it's Home Depot, have them call and give them your credit card number over the phone. That way they're not coming out of pocket, because you got to assume they need the money. So you don't want to make them come out of pocket. And if they do, you really thank them, because that's pretty nice. I have one guy who always does that for me, and I really try to pay him on time, get him paid, and get him his money back, because he really shouldn't be paying for my business. So give him the credit card, have Home Depot call, or you can pre-order on Home Depot and just have them pick it up. But basically don't get them to pay out of pocket, and pay them as soon as possible. And I think those are ways to kind of keep the thing rolling a little bit, where they're happy, because you really don't want to have that they're unhappy, and then when you call them to do a job, they're like, man, they're not really feeling it. You need the help, especially with the runner. You really want to keep your runner happy and engaged. And basically, there's a couple ways that I do that. I do that by rounding up and tipping. I also do that by creating work. In other words, if I have a job that one person can do or another person can do, I'll try to give it to the runner, so that the runner is just regularly, making money and just thinks of me as a person who makes him money, or her. I have a couple really good ones right now, and I recorded this years ago, and you can see the link for the old way of doing it. The reason I'm redoing it, and I was telling this to Sujin today, is that I'm so much better with people now. Like, I'm only a couple more years into it, but at the time that I first recorded it, I had my original runner, and he was kind of like my guy, and I had a lot going for me. I hadn't really experienced Daytona yet. Daytona was much more complicated, because I've gone through a lot of people, and I've had to vet a lot of people, and I've been burned by a few people, and I've learned my lesson. I've had my fucking, lawnmower stolen from somebody who was mowing the lawn for a while. And I mean, just yesterday we had 4 baseboard heaters stolen by a former tenant, like just crazy shit. And yesterday's runner did an incredible job, because she went back to Home Depot and told them they were stolen, and they gave her 4 new ones, which is just insane. So, it's really funny how these things work out. And obviously Daytona is not the best area, so you get into certain kinds of problems that you wouldn't get in a better area. And Daytona is long-term rental, and you have certain problems with long-term rental that you don't have with short-term, and vice versa. So just a little side note, what's the best kind of property to have? So really, you want something that performs well, is not a lot of management, there's not a lot of stress, and makes you money. So the number one thing, in my opinion, right now, 2024, was it June, is luxury Airbnb. If you can get into luxury Airbnb, and I'm talking like the $2 to $3 million price point, for me, it's beachside, I mean on the beach, where you can charge $1,000, $2,000 a night. That is the absolute best kind of property, because we noticed in our upscale Airbnbs, if they, for example, want a wagon for, carrying stuff, if I say, oh, we'll buy you one, we don't have one, they'll ask, do you have one? No, we don't, sorry, but we'll get you one. They'll go, oh, no, I have one, I'll bring it, I was just trying to travel light. So what does that teach you about dealing with luxury clients? It teaches you that they are actively problem solving. So you're not the only problem solver, you're problem solving, they're problem solving. It's really, really easy to manage. It's really funny. The people who have the most money are the most problem solving. And if you do get somebody who is, really a prima donna who needs a lot of attention, which you will get, you'll get it at the lower price point too. At least you're getting a lot of money for it. You kind of deserve to work hard for them. So I think just overall just makes much more sense. And then everything else goes faster. Your appreciation goes faster. Your debt pay down goes faster. The way the fees go up goes faster. So I think that's a real plus. I think having Class C properties or lower is a thing of the past for me. I've sold out of the areas that are Class C minus Daytona, which I've partially sold out of. And the idea there is to just get higher and higher value properties that are easier and easier to run. That is the point. If you have any questions about how to do this, specific questions for your area, for you specifically, just jump in with a couple questions and I will help. You can also go on my Calendly. It's calendly.com/Kiaya. Good luck spelling that. Book some time with me, or just reach out by text or by comment, and I'll be happy to jump in. Thanks.